Over the past few weeks, the grain markets have lost quite a lot of their value and could lose even more as harvest time approaches. Neil Melancon now joins us to tell us where they're headed and why in this week's Bottom Line.
The Bottom Line is brought to you by the Cotton Board, strengthening the fiber of our industry, and by First South Farm Credit, financing rural America since 1933.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a big drop in prices for both corn and soybeans, mostly due to the weather in the Midwest and dismal export sales. While this is normal behavior for weather markets, there are some signs out there that this may be a long-term trend beyond this year's harvest. First off, as you can see, we've had precipitous drops in the grains lately. The weather for much of the Corn Belt has been cool with regular rainfall and is forecast to do the same throughout much of the pollination and blooming phases for corn. While it's still a little early for some of the beans, they're off to a strong start, so both these markets are down. Speaking of down, weekly export inspections are also low for this year. We're just not seeing the volume that we've had in the past, and that's due to low old crop supplies as well as competitive pricing, not just from South America, but from places like the Ukraine as well. We've seen China cancel some of its contracts here to get grain that's almost 60 cents cheaper there, which suggests there's still a bottom to be reached in this market as yet. The bottom line is, while we haven't reached the lows that we'll see this year yet, the export sales are likely to return as the year rolls along. For one, U.S. grain is renowned for its quality, and that is something purchasers do look for. Two, places like the Ukraine just can't keep up with China's demand. In fact, there's some evidence that South America won't be able to keep up with their demand either. In any event, a drop in these prices will be good for our livestock growers going into the winter, with cheaper feed and grain costs for consumers, Mike, who will see cheaper grocery store prices down the line.
And Neil, it's obvious that China remains the 800-pound gorilla. Whatever China wants, China gets. Neil Melancon, keep us updated. And remember, you can listen to any of Neil's daily radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or listen online, click on over to our website, twilatv.org, and click on the LF Barn link. That does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Join us next week when A.J. Sabine will show us how some top New Orleans chefs are catching up on the catch of the day. Until then, you can watch any of our stories from this show or past episodes on our website. You know the address, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Michael Dana. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you again right here next week.